All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today. We're going to be taking a look at how to grow your business through effective contact management. My name is Laura. I'm going to be your host for today's webinar. I am a product marketing manager here at Zoho, and I currently work out of our office in Austin, Texas. So just a few housekeeping items before we move on to our webinar. Throughout the webinar, feel free to ask questions. You can type them there in the comment box on your screen. We'll have several folks on board today who will be responding to all your questions throughout the webinar. So go ahead and ask away as we go through the webinar. All right, so before we jump into our product demonstration, I want to give you a quick background on Zoho. We've been a bootstrapped and profitable company for over 19 years. We continue to grow and add employees to our company. We have over 2,500 employees currently, and we're constantly developing new business applications. We have over 25 business applications that allow you to run your entire business on Zoho products. All right, so let's take a look at where Zoho ContactManager fits into the Zoho picture. Most offices have a front and a back office. Your front office are going to include your marketing, your sales, and your support teams, also known as your people-facing teams. They'll be the folks who are interacting with your customers on a daily basis. So Contact Manager falls under the sales area, and it's designed to help you manage your contacts, your engagements with those contacts, track your emails, as well as track your leads from open to close and deals associated with them. Your CRM system is going to be a more advanced customer relationship management system. And this system will have advanced features such as your mass email feature, as well as workflow automation and integrations with other specific marketing products like Sales IQ, which is your website visitor tracking tool, Zoho Campaigns, which is your email marketing tool, and Zoho Support for your customer support teams. All right, so let's keep moving forward and let's talk about the importance of managing your contacts. So in this day and age, your customer base is not just limited to the people in your town or the people on your street or the people that you come into contact with every day, but there's opportunities everywhere across the world. So if you can connect with them and make new contacts, they eventually can become your customers. But tracking those contacts and following up with them and managing your engagement with them, that's the difficult part, right? A lot of times things will fall through the crack. You meet someone, you grab a business card, you enter them into your system, or you lose their card and you never follow up with that person again. So a contact management tool like Zoho ContactManager would come in handy for managing those relationships of people that you just meet on the street. You never know when they can become a potential customer. All right, so let's go ahead and look at how Contact Manager can help you. And let's try and understand by using some basic scenarios. So first off, Contact Manager is going to help you organize and collaborate. So let's take the example of a strategic consulting startup to illustrate sharing the team collaboration aspect. So as a startup, everyone does pretty much everything. If you've been a part of one in any shape or form, you've probably worn many hats. And there's no one specific person who single-handedly handles sales or marketing, for example. Everyone jumps on board and pitches in and does what they can. So in situations like that, team collaboration is going to play a very important role. So using Contact Manager, you'll be able to organize your business contacts in a common place. And of course, you can control the access privileges as to so different people can see different contacts. You don't have to share all of them, but you can share the ones that you need to share. And you can also share crucial emails to different team members. So if there's an email that comes in, you can make that email available or viewable to other people on your team if it's important for them to see that email. You can also use the feeds feature in Contact Manager to share instant updates about ongoing tasks or deals. You can also use it as a collaboration tool to generate ideas and collaborate on different projects. So it's a great tool for brainstorming. You can attach documents, and we'll take a look at that, all these aspects here in a second when I jump into our demo. All right, so now let's go ahead and take a look at how ContactManager can simplify your day-to-day business activities. Those are going to be the activities that no one likes to do, but that are essential in getting your job done. So let's take an example of a creative print studio. So as you can imagine, there's going to be a lot of awesome creative activity going on around the office, but then there's always those mundane tasks which are going to be essential for making sure projects get done on time or completed correctly. So with ContactManager, we've created what we call task templates, which are going to be able to handle stuff like this. So basically, let's say for example, you have a set of posters that need to be made. So even though the design is going to be different on each set of posters, the underlying operations are going to be the same. So each time you print that a set of posters, the operational side is going to be the same. So once you've created a set of tasks for printing these posters, you can set it as a template. So then each time a new set of posters that match the size of poster that you've created the task template for comes through your door, all you have to do, click on the task template, it creates all the tasks for that specific job. So that way you don't have to manually go in and do those mundane tasks, which nobody wants to do. And that way you can concentrate more on the important things or the creative aspect and not spend so much time on those repetitive tasks. Also, if you're in sales, you know that deals are not usually closed in a single day or 2 days. It usually takes time and a good amount of follow-up and effort on your part in order to close a deal. So with ContactManager, you're able to track every deal closely by using the deals feature and make sure that they're not slipping through the cracks or that you forgot to send an email or you forgot to follow up. Also, by using the deals feature, you're able to see any overdue tasks and which team members are involved in getting those tasks completed. All right, so let's go ahead and move on and talk about smart tags. So what are smart tags? It's just basically a way to classify information inside your ContactManager. Most everybody has a way of categorizing information. So in ContactManager, we enabled the tagging feature so that you can tag different deals or contacts or companies with different tags. So you can have a set of tags for each individual module that's in your contact management system. So for example, if you're working in deals and you have all your projects there listed, going back to our print studio example we were talking about earlier, you might have different size posters, different types of flyers that are going out, and by using tags, you can tag what type of paper, what color of paper, what type of project it is. So that way anyone who's working on that deal can go in and see, okay, these posters are going to be marketing posters, they are A3, and they need to be blue. So it's just a way to categorize your information and attach criteria to a specific project. So lastly, we're going to talk about assigning tasks to your team. So with tasks, you can assign tasks to a specific team member or multiple team members, and you can also have, like we were talking about earlier, tags, a set of tags associated with specific tasks. So that way when you click on a task, you can see if it's overdue, the due date, the priority, and which users or which team members are involved. You will also be able to see whose account that task is associated with, and we'll have the contact information there so you can contact the client quickly if needed. All right, so one last feature I want to mention before we move on is our Smart Search feature. It allows you to search for anything quickly. You can set specific details of what you're looking for. So say, for example, you want to search for deals that belong to a specific company that are greater than $1,000 and that are due after the last of the month. So if you set the criteria to those specific values, then it will pull in all the results based on those values in your search. So it allows you to find anything quickly and easily in your contact management system. So our next point and our last point before we move to our demo, we're going to talk about staying close to your customers. Let's face it, customers today are pretty demanding. They expect a lot from you, and with social media channels, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, bundled with email and phone, there's always a way to get a hold of your customer and for your customer to get a hold of you. So you need to develop great customer relationships, and which is going to take your business to the next level. So Contact Manager is designed to help you do that. So no matter where you are, you'll always be just a stone's throw away from being in touch with your customer. So you'll always be able to stay connected with our Contact Manager phone apps. They're available for iPhone and Android. Also, like I mentioned earlier, social connections, those go really a long way in building your customer relationships. Customers love you to interact with them on their social media channels if it's appropriate. So once you configure your Twitter or your Facebook account with Contact Manager, you can regularly stay in touch and interact with your contacts via social media right from your contact management system. So there's really nothing like a personal touch or a personal visit or a face-to-face conversation. So with the Contact Manager phone apps, you're able to pull up all your nearby contacts, see who's near you, get driving directions to their office. That way you can go in, stop by, surprise them, take them for lunch, bring them a coffee. Your customers will love it, and it will go a long ways in building amazing customer relationships. So that brings us to our demo portion. So let me jump over to our demo here. All right, so now that we're in our Contact Manager system, you'll notice that here on the left-hand side is going to be our list of different modules that we can use to navigate to our different pieces of data inside our Contact Manager. And here on the right-hand side, it's a snapshot view starting with any active deals that we have in our pipeline, expected revenue this month of deals that we've already won or ones that have yet to be closed, and then any pending tasks or open tasks that are assigned to myself would show up in this list, as well as any of the top deals for the month. It's just a snapshot view of kind of what's been sold already. We're going to spend some time under our settings and set up some new users. So if you click on the right hand corner, the little picture, you'll get a drop down. You'll notice that settings is one of the options. I'm going to go ahead and click on settings. From here, you're going to see your list of users. So keep in mind, these are all the users that have access currently to your Contact Manager system. You can manage your users here. You can inactivate them if they leave your company, or you can make sure that they're activated. You can also see if they have not accepted your invitation. Like this person has not accepted, it just says that they've still been invited. So I'm going to go ahead and add a new user. If I click on the little blue box in the top right hand corner, you'll see that when I add a new user, it requires me to enter an email address as well as assign a role. So the email address is going to be the email address associated to the user that I'm inviting. This will be used as their login. They'll receive an invitation to join my Contact Manager system at this email address. Also, I have to assign them a role within my company. So I can choose a role that I've already created from my role list, or if you're asking what is a role, what are they good for, let's jump down here to roles on our left-hand side. And let's look at roles for a second. So roles are basically a way that it's like the way your team can share data between each other. So think of it as a tree. Anybody at the top of the tree would be able to see any of the data or information all the way down. Anybody at the bottom of the tree would not be able to see the information at the top. So it's a hierarchy of data accessibility. When you add a new role or a new user, let's go ahead and add a new role for now. We'll add a sub-role under Managing Director. We'll call it Assistant Director. When I add a new role name, I have to choose who that reports to in the hierarchy that I've set up. I'm going to go ahead and leave it as managing director now, but I can also choose any of my other roles. And then you'll notice here, share data with peers, the little checkbox there. If I check that, that's going to allow any user that I assign to this specific role to be able to share data with each other on a horizontal level. So anybody else that has assistant director role will be able to share data with their peers. If I don't want them to be able to share their data, I'd make sure I just uncheck that box and leave it unchecked when I click on save. For our purposes today, I'm going to leave it checked and we'll click on save. So now I've created my new role, assistant director, and you'll notice over here it says who they report to, and then if I have allowed them to share data with their peers, it'll say yes or no here in this column. So now when I go back and add my new user, I can assign them my new role. Alright, so let's go back to our home screen. Alright, so now let's look at how to add a new contact. So I'm going to click on contacts here on the left hand side, and when I click on contacts, you'll notice you'll get a whole list of all your contacts. To add contacts, you can click on add contact here in the top right hand corner. When you add a contact, you'll be required to enter their name. We'll go ahead and enter a name, Patty. You can enter the title, company, and you can do a description. You want to enter as much information as you have, and then you can click on save. But before I click on save, you might notice this field called tags. Tags is just another way of filtering and categorizing your data. So within your contacts module, you can have a set of tags to identify your different contacts. That way, when you click on one of the tags that you've assigned to a contact, then it would filter out all those contacts with that same tag. So you can have multiple tags for each contact. So for Patty, she's a realtor. So I've already have a realtor tag, so I might tag her that, and then we'll tag small business. So once I have the tags, then I'm going to click on save. And now Patty's been added to my contact list. Under her contact record, you'll notice the tags here show up. If I click on any of these tags, it's going to act as a filter and pull in all of my contacts that are associated with that tag. Alright, so we're still in our contact module. Let's go ahead and look at how to add custom fields. So here on the top right hand corner, you'll notice a little box with 3 little lines. If you click on that box, there will be a couple of options. You can import your contacts, so if you don't want to manually import your contacts one by one, you can import your contacts via a spreadsheet or a CSV sheet by clicking on this. For now, we're going to look at adding custom fields, so we're going to click on Customize Contact Details. So when I click on Customize Contact Details, I'm going to get my list of custom fields. So custom fields are going to be information that you want to gather about your contact that are not already included in ContactManager as a field. So for example, you want to assign a specific industry to your contact. You could create a pick list and have a list of different industries. So when you add a new contact, you can assign them to an industry, and then you could sort your contacts based on industry. So we'll click on the Add Custom Field in the top right hand corner, and I want to choose my field type. There's several different field types. You want to make sure that you choose the correct one. For example, if you're choosing a website, if you're adding a URL and you want it to be clickable, you want to make sure that you choose the correct field type so that it would be clickable. If you're adding like an industry pick list, like I was mentioning just a minute ago, then you would want to choose pick list, and you would be able to list all of your values here under add list value. So for now, we're going to choose number field, and let's say that for each of our contacts that we add, we need to know the number of children that each of my contacts has. So I can add it, and then it will show up here on my list of custom fields, number of children. So when I go back to my contacts list and I add my new contact, then I will be able to just click on additional information, and I'd be able to fill in this information. These are where my custom fields are going to show up. So here we are, number of children. So then I can fill it in and then click on save. Okay, so from here, let's look at how to remove duplicate contact records. So for my contacts, again, I am going to choose any one of my contacts. And when you click on the contact, here in the top right hand corner, if you click on the More drop down, you'll notice the option Find and Merge Duplicates. If I click on Find and Merge Duplicates, it's going to automatically fill in the field names and criteria to find contacts related to exactly this same contact. So if I want to make sure and check if there are any duplicates of Amy Garcia, then I would make sure that the field name is name contains Amy Garcia, as well as the email contains her email address. So if I click on search, it will only pull in one Amy Garcia because there's only one, so I know there's no duplicates. However, if I want to find and merge duplicates that are, let's say the company name is Zoho Publishers, and I want to match any of the following, so anyone named Amy or any duplicates in Zoho Publishers, and I click on search, it will pull in anyone who is a part of Zoho Publishers. So then I can choose, I can check the list of items that I want, I can delete them, I can tag them with a specific tag. So if I want to tag them as duplicates, I can tag them and then go back and later delete all of the contacts that have been tagged duplicate, or I can export them into a spreadsheet. I can also merge them together by checking the ones I want to merge, clicking on merge, and they would merge the two contact records. So let's click on both Amy Garcia's, we'll click on merge, and then it will choose which fields to merge, which ones do I want to keep, go through and make sure it looks good, and which tags do I want to keep, and then I can click on merge. And I'll verify that I want to make sure that and merge these two records, and I click on OK. It'll merge those records for me. So now I just have one contact record for Amy Garcia. All right, so let's move on to talk about deals. Okay, so now that we're in deals, you'll see an entire list of all your outstanding deals, everybody's deals that you have access to view. You can use the drop-down filter view to filter out deals if they're won, or if they're pending or lost, any deals that have been entered today, this week, etc. Also over here on the right-hand side, you can filter out deals based on user. So any specific deal that's assigned to a user, if you have access to view it, then you can filter out those deals there. You can also add a new deal from the screen by clicking on Add Deal in the top right corner. So we'll go ahead and do that. And let's go ahead and create a new deal. These are going to be sponsorship posters, and we can associate it with a specific contact or a company. So let's go. I would be able to see the deal that's associated with her contact. And we've made it easy in ContactManager to assign a status to a specific deal. There's only 3 ways to categorize a deal, or actually 5. If it's cold, warm, or hot, and then once it's hot, it becomes 1 if you closed it, or you lose it. So you can choose what status your deal is in based on when you are entering it. You can enter an expected closing date and the value. We'll just do $500. You can go ahead and just give a description to the deal if you want to. And then like in contacts, we had the tag feature. Also in deals, you have the tag feature. It's a way to categorize your information and sort and filter your deals. So for example, if I want to tag this poster printing, because that's what it is, you can add multiple tags to a specific deal, and we'll click on save. deal has been added. Remember earlier we were talking about task templates? So when I add a new deal into my system, it's going to pop up if I have created task templates. It's going to pop up and ask me if I want to assign a task template to this new deal. So depending on what task templates you've added, you can assign the correct template. So since we added A3 posters for sponsorship, we'll just click on the check list for A3 posters, and then I can view all the tasks that are associated with this template. So that way when I say click on add, it adds all of these tasks automatically to that deal. I don't have to manually go in and enter each task. So these are operational items that happen every time a poster is printed, and they don't have to be customized each time I enter this project. So it just saves you time, and it makes you more productive and efficient. So I'm going to go ahead and click on add this task list. So now I've associated that task list with this specific deal. Okay, so now I can go and look at recent updates and look at comments. So one thing, if I'm working on a specific project and I make a comment, you can do a couple things when you add comments to a task. So let's say that I talked to her and she needs these by the end of April. And so if she sent me a file to upload, then I can upload this file from the cloud. So see this cloud here on the right hand side? If I click on that cloud, these are going to be the different tools you can upload files from. So if you're using Zoho Docs, you can attach documents that you've created in Zoho Documents to a specific deal. If you've integrated your Google Drive or Box or OneDrive account, you can also upload information from these sources as well as Dropbox and Evernote. One nice thing to note about Evernote is that as your sales team or as you're out and about and you're making meeting notes and taking pictures and you have one specific file, you can just upload those meeting notes from your Evernote account to your ContactManager account. That way you don't lose track of your notes and you can always know the status or remember when you last spoke to your contact. So once you've chosen your file, you can click on attach. I didn't click on a document and it would attach that document here. You can also drag and drop files from your desktop to this area as well and save them. Okay, so now let's see what we're going to move on to. What am I missing here? Let's move on to tasks. So my task module, it's going to pull in a list of my tasks, very similar to my deals and my contacts modules. And here in the top right hand side, I can click on add a task. When you add a task, you can name the task, you can associate it with a specific contact, a company, or a specific deal. And you can set the due date, the priority, and the task owner. So you can assign it to a teammate. You can also tag a task with a different set of tags. So if you have a marketing team, for example, or your sales team, and you tag a specific task's follow-up, then they can just search for follow-up in their task list and would pull in all their tasks that have been tagged with follow-up. So it's a quick and easy way to assign tasks to a team member. Okay, so before I jump over to show you how to set up email templates and task templates, as well as configuring your email, I want to go back to our home screen and talk about the feeds feature. So on your home screen, you'll notice a list of activities that are happening. This is just a snapshot view of all the activities that are performed or that have been performed recently. You can add comments to the items on a feed. In your feed, you can also attach documents like you did when we were adding comments to our task. these comments will be added to the specific task record and under the history section. So let's look at reports quickly. Reports are very basic. You have a couple of types of reports. Your mailing list report, deals reports, and if you click on the drop down, it filters out the information and you can see a snapshot view of what's been won, what's still pending, and what you've lost in regards to deals. You can also do that for your task report and get a snapshot view of what tasks have been started, what are on hold or in progress, or what have been completed. Very simple reports, nothing extremely fancy, but it's all meant to give you a quick snapshot view of activities that are happening in your company. Okay, so from here, let's go back to our settings here in the top right hand corner. Remember, we clicked on settings. We'll go back here and we'll spend some time under the email and the template section. So in order to set up your email account inside your Contact Manager, click on the email button here on the left hand side. And if you haven't set up an email, then you will set up an email account for the first time. If you've already set up one, then you can add a new mailbox. When I click on add new mailbox, I will be able to add a POP3 account information. I can have up to 5 accounts inside my Contact Manager account. So if I click on add POP3, I would fill in the account name, the email ID, incoming server, username, password, test the account, and then it would show up in my system and I can use it to email out. Our email system is very simple and it's basic to use and configure your email inside Contact Manager. Let's move on to templates. So if I click on templates on the left hand side, I have 2 options here at the top. My task templates, which we talked about earlier, and we'll look at those, as well as email templates. So email templates are going to be emails that go out that are pretty generic, that anybody in your company has access to be able to customize and use. So if you have, instead of writing the same thing multiple times over and over, maybe you say the same thing, your order's on its way. Each time you ship an order to a customer, you might want to create a template, email template, and have a canned message that's easy to send out so it saves you time. To create a new template, you click on the plus sign here on the right hand side. You'd fill in the name, the record type, and the subject of the email. What are your recipients going to see when they receive your email? And the reply to address if it's different than the user account, the email on the user account. And then you can use a couple merge fields and type in your message, click on save, and then you'd be able to use that email template message in your email system. To set up task templates, click on task templates. Remember, these are sets of tasks that are going to be the same for different processes that you do. So we had talked about our poster printing checklist earlier. So this is the checklist for that list. If I need to edit one of these tasks, I can come over here to the right hand side and hover over the specific row and click on edit. I can edit the task if I need to change the due date, and then click on save. If I need to add a new task to this list, I can click on the plus sign. I can add a new task, create a due date, click on save, and it would add that task to this task list. That way, whenever I created a new deal, then I would be able to assign a task list to that deal. If I need to create a new task list, I can click on the blue button here in the top right hand corner and create a new task list for another set of items that I needed to print, for example. Continuing with our example. Alright, so we're just about to wrap up, but before we wrap up, I wanted to show you one feature. We call it our Smart Search feature, and you can go ahead and search for anything inside the search bar, or you can click on the drop down here, and when you click on the drop down, you'll see Advanced Search. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Advanced Search. And remember we were talking about earlier about setting specific criteria to look for specific things quickly in our contact management system. Well, this is where you're going to do it. And you can search in any specific module in your contact manager by clicking on the drop down here. You can search in companies, contacts, deals, or tasks. I'm going to go ahead and stick with our example we were talking about earlier, and we'll look for a specific deal size. So here's where you specify your criteria. You choose the field name. So let's say that the owner of our deal is a specific user in our contact manager. So we'll say that it's Patricia. And then if I want to add more criteria to the search, I can click the little green plus sign here on the right hand side, and it'll add another set of criteria. And I can search that it's associated with a specific company. We'll just say Patty Billings, because that's the one we created earlier. And then I want to add one more set of criteria and say the deal value is between $5 and $1,000. So this way I'm going to search for any deals that are associated, that are owned by Patricia, that are associated with this account. So I'll go and click on search, and it will pull up it'll pull up my results here in my results screen. So that is our smart search feature. So let's go ahead and wrap up for today. I believe that brings us to the end of our presentation. So let's jump back over to our slides. So one of the benefits of today's webinar is that you'll receive a free product upgrade of your choice. Please, in order to take advantage of the free product upgrade, please send us an email at support@zohocontactmanager.com. Choose which plan you want, and we'll have one of our team members upgrade your account for free. So go ahead and take advantage of that free product upgrade today. Also, if you have any questions that we didn't get covered today, or you think of something later, feel free to shoot us an email at support@zohocontactmanager.com, and we'll have one of our team members answer your question and get a response back to you as well. Thank you all for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you on another webinar here. Thank you so much.